With me on the phone right now, I have Taimak, better known as Bruce Leroy from the 80s cult classic, The Last Dragon. Taimak, welcome to the Time Machine, my man.
Hey, how you doing, John?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. Hanging in there.
Good. I appreciate you taking the time out and do this interview.
Sure thing. How's North Carolina?
North Carolina's pretty good right now. We're actually at 71 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
we're getting warm over here in New York.
Okay. Now, where in New York are you out of?
I live in New York City in Manhattan.
Okay, money-making Manhattan.
Yeah. I'm originally from Manhattan. I lived in Europe when I was a kid, in London and Italy, but I'm a New Yorker.
Okay, so tell me about what was like growing up all around the world, and then your experience prior to The Last Dragon.
I think what it was is, people, when I was a kid in London and Italy, they had a different type of sensibility. I think I tend to did a little less color. They were more colorblind back in those days. They were, in the 70s. There was more racial problems in America, and not that there aren't now, but they've we've come a long way. So, but back in Europe, back in those days, there was much more tolerance towards things like that. So, I felt pretty comfortable in Europe when I was a kid.
Okay. All right.
And, yeah.
All right. Now, were you always into martial arts and like training and keeping yourself fit?
Yeah, when I was, very little, my father, he was picked on a lot when he was a kid, so he wanted me and my brother to learn martial arts. And so he put us in it with his best friend, who was a black belt. And I stayed with it. My brother kind of went into other things and different types of sports, but I continued to do martial arts. And then when, I was really pushed. When I saw Bruce Lee, I really got inspired, and that's what kept me going, and just made it, my main passion in life is to become a great martial artist and to, do whatever I can to do that.
So basically, you already had the Golden Globe before the movie.
I was on the journey.
on that quest. Now, how did you land the role of Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon? Because I had read that you had no prior acting experience to that point.
Right, I was doing, I had some school plays and stuff like that, but I wasn't pursuing acting. I was kickboxing, and I won a New York State kickboxing title, and, I eventually ended up getting a casting. I wasn't really pursuing acting, but I ended up, everybody wanted the role, so everybody went up on it, that any person of color that was a martial artist. So I went through the whole, different stages to eventually getting the role, Very, very Gordy hired me.
Okay, so was it a grueling process, like going through the dialogue, and was actually Mr. Gordy in the room during the auditioning process?
He was there at the final audition process, but not in the beginning. It was grueling because not only did I have to learn how to really read it and do a good performance, I had my own nerves and going on because I really wanted the role, and then doubts and fears that you get it and all that.
Okay, now you're hired as Bruce Leroy in the movie, and you come to find out that your female lead is Vanity.
Actually, she when it came down to it, there were a few girls that they were looking at, and they were asking me who I wanted to work with the most, and I chose Vanity, and that's why she got the role.
Okay, now why did you choose Vanity?
Why do you think I chose Vanity?
I got you, because I'm sure all the boys in the movie was like, man, who's finding Vanity and Last Dragon and Apollonia and Purple Rain? And 9 times out of 10, dudes went with Vanity, so you made a good choice.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I mean, I met Apollonia. She was beautiful, man. When I met her during the Last Dragon days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the purple.
They're both really gorgeous.
Yep, the purple one sure knows how to pick them. Purifying the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
He's got an eye for a beautiful woman.
Yeah. Now, what was it like shooting the movie? Like, especially back being your first time on set and doing all the quote unquote traditional acting stuff.
It was, you know, I had a lot of discipline for the martial arts, so I just applied that to my, you know, dealing with playing a lead role in a major motion picture, and just had an acting coach, and then, you know, it was actually a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes.
There was some problems, you know, some guys trying to, you know, discourage me, and you know, because of their insecurities. But other than that, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, now tell me about the guy that played Show Nuff.
Yeah, he was the funniest. Julius Carey was the funniest guy ever. You know, because he would walk around the set as the character, so everything that you saw on camera. Mm-hmm. I saw much more of that outside of shooting, you know. If you would be walking around the set playing that role 247.
So he was in character all the time.
Yeah.
Like, am I the prettiest? Show enough. And I'm the meanest? Yeah. Show enough. And I'm the baddest mofo low down around this town.
Show enough.
I can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, he would always mess with me. Yeah, he was funny.
Now. Go ahead.
No, it was great.
Okay, I bet it was. Now, looking back on it now, did you guys think that it'll become such a cult classic?
I don't know about everybody else, but I did. I had a good sense of what people like, and because I was a martial arts film fan, and I liked Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Bruce Lee, you know, Clint Eastwood, you know, all those Western gunslinger movies, and Hercules. So I already had a sense of what the audience out there, and I realized there was nothing like it, that it would last forever. I knew it was going to do very well. I mean, it would have done even better. When it came out in the movie theaters, it did very well, but then it did even better on TV because they didn't promote to white people when the film was being marketed and promoted, because they looked at it as a black film. Right. So Berry Gordy and Motown, they were saying, no, you got to promote to white people, but they didn't think it was going to go over well. Then when it went on TV, it found a whole big white audience, and you know, many different races embrace it because it's a universal movie, you know, just like Rocky or any other movie would be, you know. And
then of course the soundtrack did very well, which was led off by the DeBarge record, In the Rhythm of the Night. Which was a big record, and of course
Stevie Wonder did some music, Temptations of music. Yeah, there was a lot of music. Yeah, there was Sugar. I forgot. Darn. I don't remember.
It was a boatload of people that was on that movie, or Who's Who.
Yeah.
On the soundtrack. Now, in the movie, it looked like there was like some tension between you and Vandy in the scenes where she hired you as her bodyguard. Now, did she ever teach you some moves?
Well, you know, Vandy's a religious woman now.
Yeah, of course.
So I want to, you know, that's she was a lot of fun. Cool.
Okay, yeah, we all know Vandy's right now is doing the thing for the Lord, which is all well and good. And now, after The Last Dragon, how did you land the male lead in the Let's Wait a While video for Janet Jackson?